Imagine stepping into the new year not just with resolutions, but with a completely renewed mindset and a deeper sense of inner peace. What if this could be the year that truly transforms your life? These are the essential life lessons from 2024 to 2025 that can change how you approach every day ahead. Welcome back to the channel, where today we're diving into the wisdom we can carry forward into 2025. Rather than simply chasing goals or looking for quick fixes, let's think of life as a journey, a chance to grow, to discover who we truly are, and to cultivate a lasting inner peace that goes beyond any external achievement. In this video, we're exploring the powerful insights that have emerged over the past year, lessons that will not only help you embrace change, but also deepen your resilience, strengthen your relationships, and connect more deeply with yourself. Join us as we look at the values and practices that can empower you to live intentionally, with gratitude and authenticity in this new year. Whether you're seeking a more meaningful life, genuine connections, or a way to navigate challenges with grace, these lessons are here to guide you. Let's jump right in. Lesson 1. Embracing life as a journey of self-discovery. As we embark on this journey from one year to the next, it's easy to get swept up in the noise of material success and the rush of accomplishment. But true fulfillment, the kind that lingers and grows with time, lies in self-discovery and the values we hold close to our hearts. Picture it: a life that is no longer defined by external markers, but by an inner richness that radiates through every interaction, every choice, every quiet moment alone. Our deepest sense of fulfillment doesn't come from the things we achieve, but from understanding who we are, from building a life around love, integrity, and respect. These are the pillars upon which we can stand tall, even when everything else feels uncertain. Love, as we come to know, is not just a feeling, but a force, one that connects us to others and reminds us of our humanity. Integrity, that steadfast alignment with our values, gives us strength to face even the hardest truths, and respect, for both ourselves and others, cultivates a sense of harmony that carries us through life's storms. The more we understand ourselves, the richer our lives become. This is a truth that we often forget in a world driven by outward displays of success. Imagine the freedom in knowing that you don't need anyone else's approval to feel complete. The journey inward can be challenging, uncovering our own fears, our dreams, the quiet parts of ourselves we've ignored. But this journey brings a wealth that no amount of material success could ever replace. It's about learning to love ourselves as we are, honoring the values that make us feel whole, and treating others with the same respect we wish for ourselves. In this light, life becomes less about arriving at a destination and more about becoming who we were always meant to be. This is the journey of self-discovery. It's one that asks us to let go of who we think we should be and allows us to fully embrace who we are. Every new experience, every person we meet, every moment of silence, it all becomes part of our tapestry, a reminder that life's true wealth is woven from the threads of our own understanding. Let this lesson be a call to embrace life as an adventure in self-discovery, to walk through it with open eyes and an open heart, to remind ourselves that each day brings the chance to know ourselves more deeply and to live more fully from our values. This is where fulfillment begins, not in what we gain, but in how we grow and connect with the world, and most importantly, with ourselves. Lesson 2. Embracing change and letting go. Life is a constant ebb and flow, a ceaseless transformation where nothing remains the same. Like the shifting seasons, change is inevitable, often arriving uninvited, but carrying with it the seeds of growth. Yet, in our desire for security, we resist it, clinging to what is familiar and carrying burdens from the past that weigh down our spirit. But what if, instead of fearing change, we could learn to embrace it with grace? What if letting go became a source of strength, allowing us to become who we truly are? Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This reminds us that change, even when it appears as a disruption, is actually an opportunity. By letting go of what no longer serves us, be it outdated beliefs, past regrets, or old versions of ourselves, we make space for something new, something more aligned with our present path. Each time we release the weight of yesterday, we free ourselves to live more fully in today. To embrace change isn't simply about adapting. It's about stepping forward with intentionality, choosing to let each experience shape us. Seneca advised, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." Living intentionally means welcoming each day with a fresh perspective, allowing us to view every moment as an invitation to grow rather than something to fear or resist. When we wake up with this mindset, every experience, whether it's comfortable or challenging, has value, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of who we are. Gratitude, too, is essential in our journey of embracing change. Practicing gratitude helps us focus on the present, grounding us in what we have now rather than what we've lost or hope to gain. "He who is not satisfied with a little," says Epicurus, "is satisfied with nothing." By cultivating gratitude for each moment, we learn to appreciate the beauty of the present and to welcome change as an enriching part of our lives. Gratitude transforms every experience into a gift, helping us see that each phase of life, each chapter, is preparing us for the next. As we become comfortable with change, resilience naturally follows. We realize that life's unpredictable nature isn't something to fight against, but rather to flow with, like a river that bends around obstacles. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems, observed Epictetus. In letting go of our resistance, we free ourselves from imagined fears, allowing life to unfold as it will. We become empowered, not by controlling every outcome, but by moving with life, embracing each shift with open arms. Letting go teaches us that change is not our adversary. It is the fuel for our growth. With each act of release, we come closer to our true essence, shedding old layers to reveal our inner strength. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the lesson of change: to embrace it, to let go, and to trust that life is guiding us toward our most authentic selves. And in that, there is a strength and beauty that remains constant, no matter how the world around us shifts. Lesson 3: Building resilience, courage, and patience. Let's pause for a moment to reflect on resilience, courage, and patience, the quiet but powerful forces that shape our journey through life's trials. These qualities aren't just qualities we acquire. They're choices we make daily to navigate challenges, to grow through our failures, and to keep going even when the path is steep. Resilience, courage, and patience transform hardship into growth, uncertainty into opportunity, and waiting into wisdom. Resilience is what gives us the strength to bend rather than break. When life tests us with losses, setbacks, or moments of uncertainty, it's resilience that allows us to keep moving, even if we have to move more slowly. Imagine each challenge you've faced as a step toward becoming more grounded and steady in who you are. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." It's through resilience that we come to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as essential parts of our journey. Courage, on the other hand, is what sparks action. It's the flame inside us that drives us forward, despite our fears. Courage doesn't mean we never feel afraid. It means we act even with fear in our hearts. Each small act of bravery, a difficult conversation, a new pursuit, a step outside our comfort zone, draws us closer to a life of fulfillment. It's as if courage becomes the bridge between who we are and who we have the potential to become. As Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Embracing courage is about daring to live fully, to face risks, and to trust ourselves. And then, patience. The gentle strength that lets us breathe, wait, and grow. In our fast-paced lives, we often forget the grace that patience brings, the quiet confidence it builds within us. Patience is the ability to endure, to trust that time is a teacher, not an enemy. It's what allows a seed to grow into a tree and a vision to become reality. Practicing patience means we don't rush through life's experiences. Instead, we take the time to savor the lessons, to learn fully from every step. As Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." Patience is a daily practice, a reminder that growth and change take time, but that waiting doesn't have to mean standing still. It can mean nurturing, reflecting, and preparing for what's next. Consider adopting patience as a habit each day. Practice waiting with intention, whether it's in moments of frustration, like a long line, or an unexpected delay, or in more profound situations, waiting for clarity, healing, or new beginnings. Each moment of patience is like a breath that fills us with peace, helping us find balance and strength to face whatever comes our way. Together, resilience, courage, and patience form a triad that supports us through the best and the hardest of times. They remind us that our journey, with all its peaks and valleys, is one of learning, one of becoming. Each challenge, each moment of doubt, and each act of courage brings us closer to our truest selves. Through resilience, we learn to rise. Through courage, we learn to act. Through patience, we learn to grow. And by practicing these qualities, we create a life that is deeply rooted, boldly lived, and beautifully balanced. Lesson 4. The power of self-compassion and vulnerability. Let's turn inward to explore two profoundly transformative qualities: self-compassion and vulnerability. These are the keys to opening our hearts, not just to others, but to ourselves. In a world that often encourages us to wear masks and hide our true feelings, embracing vulnerability and showing kindness to ourselves can feel revolutionary. But it's through these very acts that we unlock the possibility of deeper, genuine connections that are built on trust, empathy, and true understanding. Self-compassion is a gentle yet powerful gift we give ourselves. It means treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a dear friend. Think of the times you've stumbled, made mistakes, or fallen short of your expectations. In these moments, instead of harsh self-criticism, self-compassion allows us to embrace our humanity. It reminds us that we're imperfect beings, all learning, all trying, all healing. As Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Self-compassion allows us to lift the weight of our own judgment, to forgive ourselves, and to begin again. Vulnerability, on the other hand, is a courageous act of openness. It's the willingness to share our true selves without pretense or fear of judgment. Imagine how freeing it would feel to let go of the need to be perfect, to share your fears, hopes, and dreams without hiding. It is in these honest moments that we give others permission to do the same. Vulnerability builds trust and invites empathy, showing us that we're not alone in our struggles or our joy. Let me share a story that beautifully illustrates the strength of vulnerability. There was once a man who had always tried to keep a perfect facade, believing that admitting any weakness would make him appear flawed or undeserving. One day, during a particularly challenging period, he decided to open up to a close friend about his fears and struggles. At first, he felt exposed, as if he'd revealed too much. But what happened next was transformative. His friend listened with compassion and then, in turn, shared their own similar experiences. That exchange of honesty created a bond so deep and real that it transformed both of them. They realized that vulnerability had created a space for trust, for mutual understanding, and for profound support. Through this, they saw that their friendship had not been weakened, but strengthened immeasurably. Brené Brown, a renowned researcher on vulnerability, once said, "Vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they're never weakness." Vulnerability is, in fact, an invitation to build relationships that are real and meaningful, not because we have it all together, but because we're willing to show up as we are, to be seen as we are. So how can we bring self-compassion and vulnerability into our daily lives? Start by treating yourself with kindness, especially on days when you feel least deserving of it. Instead of criticizing yourself, try saying, "It's okay to be human. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm still learning." When we practice this gentle approach with ourselves, it naturally extends to others, making us more understanding and less judgmental of their imperfections. Then, embrace vulnerability in small ways. Share a bit of your authentic self with a loved one, maybe an insecurity you've held back, or a hope you've kept hidden. You might find that this act of openness draws others closer to you, inviting them to reciprocate with honesty and trust. Remember that these qualities, self-compassion and vulnerability, are not weaknesses, but profound strengths. They are the foundation of relationships that uplift us and provide a safe space to be our truest selves. By showing kindness to ourselves, we become kinder to others. By embracing vulnerability, we create connections that are authentic and lasting. Together, self-compassion and vulnerability make life richer, fuller, and more beautiful. They allow us to step into each moment with openness and a readiness to be seen, to love, and to connect. Through them, we discover that our greatest strength lies not in appearing perfect, but in being real. And in this authenticity, we build lives that are warm, courageous, and filled with love for ourselves and for those around us. Lesson 5. Aligning actions with core values. In the quiet of our thoughts and the whispers of our intuition, there lies a powerful guide, our core values. These values, when fully embraced, are like an inner compass, directing us toward choices that enrich our lives with meaning, integrity, and fulfillment. When our actions align with these values, we strengthen our self-respect, deepen our sense of purpose, and ultimately lead lives we can be proud of. Living in harmony with our values is a journey of coming home to ourselves, creating a life that feels whole and true. Imagine a life where every choice you make reflects who you truly are, where you no longer feel torn between your deepest beliefs and your daily actions. This alignment isn't just a goal, it's the foundation of a fulfilling life. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. This is the gift of living true to our values. We stop seeking fulfillment in fleeting things and find it instead in the choices that echo who we truly are. But aligning with our values often requires us to slow down, to pause and reflect on our choices. In a world that is constantly urging us to do more, acquire more, and be more. It takes courage to focus on simplicity. Simplicity is not about living with less, but living with intention. Choosing only those things, those people, and those moments that honor our values. When we embrace simplicity, we clear the noise that clouds our lives and make room for what truly matters. Living by our values also calls us to trust our intuition. Our intuition is that quiet inner voice that knows what feels right, even when the world around us suggests otherwise. Have you ever felt that nudge, that sense that something wasn't in line with who you are? That's your intuition speaking, guiding you back to a place of integrity. Trusting it can be daunting, especially when it requires us to make hard decisions or take an unfamiliar path. But as we learn to listen, we build a life of courage, grounded in self-respect and authenticity. Here's a small but powerful habit. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect. Ask yourself, did my actions today reflect my core values? Was I true to who I want to be? This practice isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. When we reflect daily, we catch ourselves in moments when we might have been swayed by convenience or fear, and we remind ourselves to return to our values with renewed commitment. Think of your values as the roots of a mighty tree. When the storms of life come, and they will, these roots hold you steady. The winds of external pressures and opinions may try to bend you, but a life lived in alignment is resilient, grounded by principles that no storm can uproot. This is the essence of integrity, the quiet strength that comes from living in harmony with oneself. There's a simple but profound beauty in this alignment. It frees us from the need to seek approval from others because we know that we are honoring what we believe in. It frees us from regret as we trust in the choices we've made, and it fills us with peace as our lives become a reflection of what we hold dear. When we choose to live by our values, we become a beacon for others. Our lives show that true success is not measured by what we accumulate, but by the legacy we leave behind, one of authenticity, kindness, and unwavering integrity. As Epictetus once said, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So, as you move forward, take a moment to define your core values. Let them guide you, protect you, and inspire you. And when you face decisions, no matter how small, remember that these values are your truest path to fulfillment. In the end, it's not about perfection, but about intention. Every day offers a new chance to bring our actions and values into harmony, a fresh opportunity to create a life that feels honest, meaningful, and deeply rewarding. In this way, aligning our actions with our values isn't just about living well, it's about living fully. It's about standing tall, knowing that every step we take brings us closer to the life we've always dreamed of, rooted in love, respect, and a profound connection to who we are at our core. Lesson 6. Finding happiness in inner harmony and meaningful relationships. True happiness isn't found in accolades, possessions, or applause. It's something much quieter, something that blossoms within us and radiates outward, touching those around us. Happiness comes from a place of inner peace, a harmony within ourselves, and from nurturing relationships that honor and uplift who we are at our core. It's about building bonds with people who see us, not for our titles or successes, but for our true selves. And it's about releasing the need for external validation and realizing that real joy is found in shared understanding, support, and love. Imagine a friendship where you feel completely understood, where words aren't always needed because the connection is so deep and true. This is what meaningful relationships give us, a sanctuary of belonging and trust. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but but in having few wants. When we are at peace, within, and surrounded by those who genuinely care for us, we find that our needs are few and our happiness is abundant. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate this happiness is by nurturing connections that align with our values. When our relationships are built on shared principles, whether it's honesty, kindness, or mutual respect, they become sources of profound joy and stability. These are the relationships that stand the test of time, the ones that remain steady even as life around us changes. They are the friendships, partnerships, and family bonds that remind us of who we are, even when we lose sight of it ourselves. Think of a time when someone truly understood you, when they saw the parts of you that perhaps others overlooked. Maybe it was a friend who listened without judgment, or a loved one who encouraged you to follow your dreams, even when they seemed distant. In these moments, we find a joy that goes beyond words because we realize we are not alone on our journey. We have someone who walks alongside us, someone who celebrates our victories and stands by us in our struggles. One story that captures this is of a woman I once knew who had faced a series of losses and felt entirely alone in her grief. One friend, without saying a word, would simply sit with her, offering silent support. This presence, this quiet companionship, became a source of immense comfort. Over time, the woman found that this relationship gave her strength, a sense of being held, even in her darkest moments. This simple, genuine connection brought her a peace she couldn't find anywhere else. It was a reminder that true friendship doesn't require constant words or actions. It's about being there, being present, and offering a piece of our hearts when it's most needed. Happiness rooted in meaningful relationships allows us to let go of external validation. We stop seeking approval from people who don't truly know us, and instead, we lean into the relationships that nourish our souls. We find strength in knowing we are valued for our essence, not our achievements. When we nurture these connections, we discover that our happiness is not tied to the highs and lows of life. It's anchored in the steady presence of those who love us without condition. This inner harmony and these relationships also teach us to love ourselves better. When we are seen and accepted by others, we begin to accept ourselves more fully. We learn that we don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love. We realize that happiness isn't something we chase, but something we cultivate through quiet moments of reflection, through acts of kindness, and through the bonds we cherish. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." This reminds us that the people who come into our lives are often those who reflect what we need to grow, heal, and find joy. By embracing these relationships, by investing in them wholeheartedly, we allow ourselves to experience a happiness that's as steady as it is profound. So as you move forward, take time to nurture those connections that feel genuine, those relationships that feed your soul. Let go of the need to impress others, to prove your worth through achievements or appearances. Instead, invest in the people who already see your worth, who remind you of the light within you. In the end, happiness is not a destination reached by climbing higher, earning more, or achieving accolades. It's found in those quiet, beautiful moments shared with people who matter. It's found in a life that resonates with harmony, where your heart is aligned with your values, and where the people you love are truly part of your journey. This is the happiness that sustains you through life's ups and downs, a happiness rooted in authenticity, in connection, and in the simple yet profound beauty of meaningful relationships. Lesson 7. Cultivating creativity, empathy, and kindness. our world becomes a little brighter, a little richer, and undeniably more meaningful when we embrace the qualities of creativity, empathy, and kindness. These aren't just personal attributes. They're the colors we paint our lives with, adding depth and purpose, not only to our own journeys, but also to the lives of those around us. Creativity is more than an artistic outlet. It's a path to self-discovery and a way of breathing life into our innermost thoughts and dreams. Whether through painting, writing, problem-solving, or finding unique ways to connect with others, creativity allows us to express our true selves and explore the limits of our imagination. It's as if each act of creation brings us closer to understanding ourselves and finding a voice that is uniquely ours. And as the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." Creativity lets us do this each day anew, exploring and discovering what makes us come alive. But a life filled with purpose doesn't stop with self-expression. When we couple creativity with empathy, we find a remarkable power to connect. Empathy opens our hearts, allowing us to see the world through someone else's eyes, to feel their joys, and to share in their sorrows. It's the invisible thread that binds communities, creating a world where people truly understand each other, where barriers dissolve and compassion grows. Imagine how different our lives could be if we approached each interaction with an open heart, seeking to understand rather than to judge. When we do this, we find that others become less of them and more of us, and together we create a stronger, more compassionate world. Kindness is the natural extension of empathy, a way to take that understanding and turn it into action. Even the smallest act of kindness, a smile, a word of encouragement, a helping hand, can transform someone's day, creating ripples that spread far beyond what we can see. In being kind, we remind others that they're not alone, that we're all part of something larger, something shared. As Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Kindness helps us cultivate those thoughts that lift others up and bring harmony into our lives and theirs. Let me share a simple yet powerful story. There was a man who, every morning on his walk, would take a moment to greet each person he passed with a warm smile. One day, he passed a woman who looked particularly downcast. He offered her the same smile, a brief yet genuine gesture of kindness. She stopped and thanked him, explaining that she had felt invisible and overlooked by the world until that very moment. That single act of kindness, small to him but monumental to her, reminded her of her own worth and her place in the world. This story reminds us that we never truly know the impact we have on others, but when we lead with kindness, we have the power to change lives in ways we may never see. Imagine a world where everyone made it a priority to extend a small act of kindness each day. The effect would be profound, not only in the lives of those touched by these gestures, but in our own lives as well. Kindness doesn't just benefit the recipient, it brings a sense of warmth, purpose, and fulfillment to the giver too. It's in these moments, when we extend ourselves to others, that we feel most connected to the world around us. So, here's a challenge. Practice one act of kindness each day. This doesn't have to be grand. Often the smallest acts carry the most profound weight. It could be as simple as holding the door for someone, offering a listening ear, or even sharing a compliment with a stranger. With each act, you'll find that your heart feels a little lighter and your days a little brighter. In this way, kindness becomes a habit, something we weave into our daily lives until it becomes as natural as breathing. Creativity, empathy, and kindness. These are the forces that enrich our lives, bringing us closer to our purpose and deepening our connections. When we create, we explore the vastness within us. When we empathize, we bridge the distance between us and others. And when we show kindness, we remind ourselves and the world of our shared humanity. Embrace these qualities not just as occasional acts, but as lifelong practices, as essential parts of who you are. Each day, let your creativity flow, let your empathy deepen, and let your kindness extend. Together, they form the foundation of a life filled with meaning, a life that leaves a legacy of warmth, connection, and love. In this journey of life, we often look for the extraordinary, the grand gestures, the monumental achievements, but sometimes it's in the quiet acts of kindness, the silent moments of empathy, and the gentle expressions of creativity that we find true purpose. So go out there and let your kindness shine. Let your creativity speak, and let your empathy connect. In doing so, you'll not only enrich your own life, but will undoubtedly touch the lives of countless others, creating a ripple of goodness that extends far beyond what you can imagine. As we reach the end of these reflections, take a moment to consider life itself, a vast, ever-evolving journey, brimming with moments to learn, grow, and transform. Every experience, every interaction, and every challenge offers a chance to see the world a little differently and to understand ourselves a bit more deeply. Embracing this journey with an open heart is what allows us to live fully, with purpose and resilience. Life invites us to be curious, to ask questions that deepen our awareness, and to discover that the beauty of life is often found in the unknown. It's in accepting what we cannot change and finding peace within ourselves that we make room for joy and create a life infused with love. Our growth, after all, doesn't come from perfection or control. It comes from the willingness to let life unfold with curiosity and grace. As the Stoics remind us, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. So as we step into 2025, consider these lessons and make them your own. Embrace the unknown, release the burdens of the past, and lean into each day with courage and kindness. Let your values guide you and find meaning in both the simplest acts and the deepest connections. Take a moment to reflect on what this past year has taught you, and let it propel you forward with a renewed sense of wonder and purpose.